So our next speaker, he's going to announce you a very interesting event. So I leave the word to Christophe Jacques from EMC.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, Philippe. So before talking about this very interesting event, which is called Revolve and Conference, let's go back a little bit in time, just a little bit in time. So I go back 250 years in time, and basically what you see here is an example of disruptive innovation. And what you see is, you see the steam locomotive in the front. So that's the disruptive part, but then you see basically the stagecoaches behind the steam locomotive, and what you see is basically, that looks a little bit like the carriages pulled by horses, isn't it? So what I'm saying here is, if you're faced with disruptive innovation, there is no need to hold to the past. Another example, I don't know who is familiar with this lady? Who is? Ada Lovelace, indeed. So Ada Lovelace was the daughter of Lord Byron, and basically this lady invented the computer. It was not Steve Jobs, don't believe that. It was Ada Lovelace in 1840. At the age of 27, together with Charles Babbage, she was already working on a mechanical calculator. I can tell you, in 1840, if you were telling people that you were working on a machine that would be able to calculate, they thought you were a little bit cuckoo in the head. So, no, it's not this one, of course, but it was a little bit similar. It looked a little bit like this. So you can easily see that's the kind of laptop we all use nowadays. Another example. This cool guy sitting with his newspaper is Nikola Tesla. What is special about this picture is that there are millions of volts flying around his head. Isn't that cool? How cool can you be if there are millions of volts flying around your head and you're reading your newspaper? That's a kind of disruptive mindset that you need, I would say. Okay? And these ladies are programming one of the first computers. The thing is, the real guys were doing the hardware, and the software was something that they said, it's not for us. That's for the ladies. So these ladies all have a very high diploma in mathematics, and they needed to do software programming. Okay? So these ladies, guys in the room, these ladies were already programming computers 30 years before everyone else. Isn't that disruptive? Then the mobile phone. We all know the story of Martin Cooper at Motorola, who invented the mobile phone. There's a picture of the mobile phone over there. But this guy was really cool. So what he did was he invited a camera crew, just like here, and he said, come to me, I will do something really cool. And he made the first phone call, and what he did was he called to his biggest competitor at Bell. Isn't that great? Making a phone call telling him, yes, I'm calling you from a mobile phone, eat this, okay? So I think this guy had the guts really to be disruptive. And then the internet came along. We all know the story about CERN. I will not fool you with that story, but you know the story of Tim Berners-Lee. And there are lots of movies about this guy. And every single time they ask him, tell us about how the internet was created. And basically his storyline is like, it was more like a coincidence, to be honest. It was like, I was in a room and suddenly the internet was there. Can you imagine? Yeah? And then there's Moore's law. I will not tell you anything about Moore's law. We all know what Moore's law is all about. But the thing is, this little device that everybody has in its hands has the same computing power as NASA used to put a man on the moon. Can you imagine? Isn't that impressive? So what I'm telling you here is very short. Technology has evolved very rapidly for the past decades. It's gone so fast. It's really, really crazy. And what I would like to do is, okay, guys, 1 minute, yes. Do you have what it takes to be part of the event that I'm trying to convince you to be part in? Okay? So let me ask you a couple of questions. But first, what is the event all about? We will put together, on the one hand, all the innovative people within large incumbents, okay, on the one hand, so all the entrepreneurs. And on the other hand, we will bring them together with the startup community. And by doing this, we are convinced that people can learn from each other. Okay? So that's the basic setup. There will be a keynote by Singularity University. Then there will be a business track headed by Peter Hensen, and there will be an IT track headed by Davy Kestens from Spark Central. And what we will do in the afternoon, we will shift things a little bit. So the hoodies, the guys, the programmers, we will put them in the Bollinger room, in the champagne room, and all the guys with the ties, the business people, we will put them in the Red Bull room. Isn't that fantastic? The thing is, we want them to learn from each other. So we want the guys with the tie to act, to think like a startup, and we want the startups to think like a big enterprise. So that's a bit the setup of the event. And now is the question, do you have what it takes to be part of this event? So, question number 1. Do you have disruptive mindset way ahead of your time like Ada Lovelace? So ahead of your time, 100 years at least, okay? Do you have the guts like Nikola Tesla? Are you an entrepreneur like Martin Cooper with a healthy dose of rivalry? And if there's somebody in the room which name is named after Moore's Law, you are always welcome as well. So if you believe, if you have what it takes to join this really, really great event, first of all, I would invite you to have a look at the website. And secondly, please send me an email with subject Data Innovation Summit, and maybe you will be one of the 10 people who will get a free entrance card. Thank you.
So it's time for a break now. Let's agree that we will all be back here at 5 to 11 so that we can start on time. We managed to end on time. We will keep it like that for the whole day. So it's a short break. Don't forget that there are more people who want to be in the room than there are seats available. So be back on time. See you later. Bye-bye.